welcome to another edition of We Are HCMC TV. Really, we should have been talking about last night's game, the City derby between Ho Chi Minh City and Saigon, but because of the continuing COVID outbreak up north, there's been no football. In fact, there was no football at all in week 4. Week 3 last weekend, there was only 2 games completed. Tan Hoa beating Nam Dinh 3-0 and Saigon beating Nha An 1-0. As for City, City's game was postponed last weekend away to Tan Quang Ninh, which is where one of the regions where the outbreak first developed, the recent outbreak first developed. So where are we? Well, City have completed 2 games. The opening weekend we went to Da Nang and we was beaten by a duckling curling shot in the 17th minute. And then following weekend, our first home game of the season against Hong Lan Ha Tin. Now, first thing to say about this game was it was a fantastic game. A fantastic game of football, especially the first 30-35 minutes. Both teams seemed intent on forgetting their defensive duties and just going all out attack. We attack, you attack. We attack, you attack. City came out flying from the off, playing some really good football, which is not to say our visitors didn't have their chances. And in fact, to be honest, Ha Tin can consider themselves unlucky to have gone in the break at 0-0. They had by far the better chances, created openings, due mostly in part to our defence going AWOL, seemingly not content on defending but only on attacking. A mixture of bad shooting and some great goalkeeping from Tan Tang in the City goal kept the visitors at bay. The game was very evenly poised. It could have went either way. Both teams could have scored. But there was 2 events in the first half that swung it into City's favour. The first, around about the 20-minute mark, returning ex-midfielder Tran Phi Son, who up to that point had been playing really well in the midfield for the visitors. He was subjected to a robust challenge, shall we say, from City's Diakité, and sadly had to leave the park. I mean, Phi Son is one of those players that you'd actively pay to watch because he is a fantastic player and he plays with a smile on his face. The second came around about the 30-minute mark and involved a Ha Tin centre forward and Kelly. It was kind of a strange situation. Ha Tin had a corner. The ball was swung over, Kelly went down. He complained, but the ball was still free. It was still bouncing around in the City box. And then Akinde Ismail, another ex-City player who came on to replace Phi Son, he also went down, but he did not complain. But Kelly did, and he kept on complaining. He kept on complaining, and the referee gave him a yellow card, which incidentally turned out to be his second, and he got his marching orders. So he was sent off. Apparently, it is alleged that he told the referee to go do one. He swore at him, basically. He denies it, his club denies it. City players, to their credit, didn't hear it, so one can only guess what the referee actually heard. But those 2 incidences swung it in City's favour. We was a man up and the visitors had lost their best player. But it took an hour. It took an hour before City actually broke them down, and to their credit, Ha Tin kept coming at City, and it came from a corner. Lee Wing swung it in. It was cleared, half cleared to the edge of the box. There was our number 60, Hui Tuan, on the edge of the box, a low left-footed drive into the corner of the Ha Tin net, 1-0 City. But still, Ha Tin didn't give up. They still came at City, fair play. There was down to 10 men, but they weren't going to roll over easily. And it took until the 70th minute for City to almost kill off the game. It came from a Ha Tin attack, funny enough. Akinde had a header, Tan Tang had saved it. It came up into the middle of the park, and there was local boy Tam Bin, and he found Dario Jr. on the left wing. Dario Junior decided he was going to take on Ha Tin on his own, beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4 players before entering the corner of the box and drilling a left-footed effort into the goal. 2-0 City, 3 points. City could have scored a third. Nam rounded the keeper in injury time, but just as he was going to stick the ball in the net, a defender appeared from nowhere and cleared the ball. It's a shame really, because I really like to see the guy score. He needs a goal for his confidence more than anything else. So where does that leave City? 7th place. It's only 2 games played, 3 points behind Haiphong, who are remarkably at top of the table and not bottom of the table. They've won both their opening games, and 3 points above Hanoi, who sit at the bottom of the table on 0 points, which is always very nice to see. So, when will the season restart? The 64 billion dong question. It's meant to, or the rumours have been suggested, that it could start on the weekend of the 28th of February, and that's the weekend we should have been playing Hanoi at home. But it is rumoured that the season will pick off where it left, so round 3, and we'll be away at Tan Quang Ninh. So, but that is all down to obviously the COVID outbreak and how it's handled and whether or not the season starts. So that is the rumoured start. In the meantime, the cup draw's been made, and City, because they reached the semi-finals last season, have got a bye in the first round, and they will play the winners of the Ha Tin Gong An Nam Dan tie. And Gong An Nam Dan, which is not very easy to say, is the People's Army side. And whether or not the game is here or away, who can guess? The draw suggests here, but it's up to the league. It can change any minute now. So that is the cup draw, and that is meant to kick off around about March time. But again, due to COVID, your guess is as good as mine. So that's what's happening league-wise. What's happening transfer-wise? Well, nothing really should have happened. We had all our players. We was getting settled. But this is Ho Chi Minh City. We like to do things awkwardly. And just a week or 2 after being called the best central defender in VLeague by our coach, Coach Manu and Ho Chi Minh City decide to get rid of Diakité and replace him with a forward, another centre forward. So that means we have 3 centre forwards and another Brazilian centre forward, so 3 Brazilian centre forwards. And okay, you could say, well, it's the manager's decision, but all our problems up to this point have been defensively. So to get rid of the best central defender in VLeague and to replace him with a centre forward seems a strange one, but it's an Ho Chi Minh decision, and we do tend to do things strangely at this club. We've got to wait and see what really happens, and no one's actually seen this guy. He's meant to have come out of quarantine 2 or 3 days ago, but no one's seen him. The club hasn't made any official announcements, so what's really going on? We're not really sure. Diakité, it seems, has been cut from the list, but whether or not we've actually signed this guy and is actually replacing him, I don't know. And only time will tell, and next few days we might get a proper answer or may get a fuller answer. So that's it really. We're meant to be looking back at last night's game and hopefully a victory against the local rivals, but instead we're caught in a bit of a limbo, no man's land. The ground, as you can see, is looking beautiful. It's an empty ground, empty stadium, so you'd be forgiven to think Saigon were at home. But there's not a lot else to say apart from, if you've liked what you've seen, press like. And if you want to keep in touch or be notified of any more videos and the things about Ho Chi Minh City Football Club, press subscribe. And of course you can follow us on Facebook on We Are HCMCFC, or on Twitter at HCMCFC1. Thank you very much for watching. See you again soon with more V-League news, hopefully, better V-League news, and Forza City.